Yeah, I saw this.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to come from like good stock. It's going to come from like the elite. It will come from the American elite.
I don't care about this. The other day in chat, you said to me, reactions don't drive the stream. Can you elaborate on that? Reactions don't... I don't know what you mean by reactions. Missiles aren't...
What the f did you just say about the missile, you little...
Is this going to be like the 55th iteration of the missile knows where it is at all time meme?
I'll have you know the missile knows where it is at all times.
Okay, I'm good on that one. People on the server are saying Sweden is a compulsive liar. Yeah. Anyway, where were we? Just because reacting to stuff isn't what drives the stream, in my opinion. Oh yeah. Oh, there's a formula to what makes my brand of content work. There's something that makes it unique, and it's something that I excel at. So I think there's like a formula. I haven't ever written this down before. Somebody could formalize it. But there's like a formula where there's some news event that happens. It's either some news event or it's some person reacting to a news event. And then from there, I have like my reaction to the news event. That might involve some research. That might involve us like looking into the news event. And then from there, we get like kind of like a cycle of arguing with people over that news event. And then these cycles might swap back and forth, where we argue, we do more research, we argue, we do more research. This, I think, is like the cycle for success in general when it comes to my type of content. I could do research pretty well.
You go live, then one day I decide to go out and touch grass decal on.
True, but I excel at conversations. This is like my bread and butter. This is what I do best. I think that so something that the thing that makes this difficult is I need like a good I don't want to say a foil. I don't need a foil. I need like a good group of people to bounce ideas off of. If I don't have anybody to like argue with or give a take against or have a conversation with over political things, then the cycle starts to look like this. There's like an event that happens, and then I'll give like a reaction or a take to it, and then that's it, and it just dies. This is like a one-day thing, and it's super boring. Nobody cares, and it's a whatever. It's difficult to make this work because I need political adversaries that don't disappear forever. One of the problems I have is that the Twitch politics scene is essentially dead. Except for, I don't know if there's small panel shows with like commies and stuff on it. And all the people that kind of like came over to YouTube or started doing politics over here when I left are basically like my friends. So there's not like much in the way of argumentation. So I don't have like a good cycle of people to fight with. And then also the ante has gotten upped on so many topics that there are some things that are really interesting that just can never be spoken about anymore. So for instance, there's a whole bunch of trans news and stuff that's been going on. I can't cover this anymore, and I can't engage with it anymore because the communities are too toxic and the risk is too high, where if you say the wrong thing, everybody's getting banned. It's turned into like playing poker games in the hood where you're, or gambling, where you're playing dice, I guess, right? Where you're getting robbed like every single time you play a game. It's not worth it. So trans topics are totally out. There's some interesting stuff relating to like black issues and the WL community. This feels kind of weird because I'm white and it ends up being me either fighting against all black people in favor of or against all black people or black men or women. And this feels kind of weird, but it's possible. I could just say black issues. I put WL community because some of this is intersected with them. There, you also run into that high stakes issue here, though, of like racism, where you get like basically everybody calls you racist. I haven't seen anybody banned for that yet, kind of, I don't think. So with this gone, there's like, right now I notice I don't have any people that are like regularly in my orbit that I can fight with. Historically, these opponents would have been people like Vosh, Hassan, Keffels, even though we didn't technically directly talk to her. And then it would have been like the orbiters of all of these people, or the people that are like cyclical in these kind of communities, essentially. Mr. Girl and Lav would have been two, and Alicia, and then some of the debates around that. And then as of recently, the most successful formula for this has been Red Pill. The Red Pill stuff has followed the formula like pretty well. Kind of, there's like a news story or a topic that comes out. We do a little bit of research onto it. I hop onto shows. I argue with people. Those arguments spur more arguments, which spur more research, which spur more engagement. And that's why the Red Pill arc has been as successful as it has been. Because the people in that community tend to be more reported. So they're not on that mass report, which is nice. You're not getting banned ever arguing with red pillars. And the people seem to not get as mad as everybody else on the internet. So like, obviously I disagree with like Myron and Fresh. Like I disagree with them on everything, but like we're still okay. I disagree with Sneeko on everything, but we're still like okay. Like I can have arguments, like pretty hardcore arguments with these people, and it's like okay. Like our relationships aren't like completely destroyed. Destiny, not trying to be antagonistic, but an hour-long Hassan-esque segment reacting to the mainstream media could 100% instigate these interactions. No, they have the benefit of driving short-form engagement. The problem is that, like, I don't like simply reacting to the news. It's very boring to me. The surface-level takes and the stories are usually boring to me. And unless I can actually get, like, conversations out of it, it's not like... There's other people that can do that, probably about as well as I can. Like, I don't think... Like I can react to a news story about as well as anybody else can. Like where I excel at is conversation and debates and talking to people with different opinions. You talked about this before. The community sometimes feels like it. The community has no idea what it wants ever, and it's very difficult when I'm trying to figure out what I need to do in terms of direction of my content because the community has no idea what it wants ever. Community doesn't know. They think they do, or some people think they do, but they just truly you have no idea what you enjoy watching or what you don't enjoy watching. Like I could have written out, I should have actually in a doc somewhere. Like I knew in advance, I wanted to play StarCraft, this is fun, I want to get GM. But like prior to StarCraft, when I'm playing like Factorio and then Mr. Girl and Lav, like you guys are saying like bring back StarCraft, blah, blah, blah. And it's like StarCraft is 3,000 viewers, Lav and Mr. Girl and Factorio is 15,000 viewers. I also ran into an issue where I've said this before, how my tolerance for like memeing has gotten so low, and it's sad, but my tolerance for memeing has gotten so low because you guys are so retarded that memes turn into reality almost instantly. So for instance, like you guys memed yourself into the reality where you thought you hated Factorio, but the reality is the Factorio arc gave us the best content the stream has ever had. The Factorio arc was XQC, Trainwrecks, and Mizkif, that 70,000 viewer stream. The Factorio arc was everything with the Kevil's Manifesto. It was with the Mr. Girl and all the live. It was with all the Annalicia convos. It was with sometimes a 6 or 7 or 8, like Abba, Dan, everybody else jumping into, like all of that was there. But you guys actually memed yourself into thinking that like when you saw Factorio got mad, you wanted StarCraft. Even though the content is way worse, the engagement is way worse, you just have no idea. So, yeah. To be fair, you did promise a lot of things after finishing Factorio. Yeah, I can, but I can only do so much. I can't do much on my own. I have to have a cast of people to interact with. So the recent thing about the Ohio stuff was a really good example. The Ohio thing is very interesting because none of you know what happened. Nobody in the media knows what happened. Nobody on social media knows what happened. And there's a lot of people with strong opinions out there, but I don't really have anybody to fight with over it. The reality is the East Palestine oil spill was not that remarkable. Most of it was cleaned up pretty quickly. Government did about what they should have, and there's not really much to talk about. But people memed this story into like one of the most insane environmental disasters ever when it didn't need to be. And that would have been a really interesting fight to have with people, but I have nobody around me to fight about it with. Like nobody. So all I did was like, I covered it, I gave my take on it, I guess some YouTube commenters got mad, but I have like nobody to like go back and forth to flesh out my arguments with essentially. Even the research streams we do are generally only good, I think, because the research streams are pointing us in a direction of a debate. Like it would be hard to compare this, but like I don't know if I would have gotten, you know, like 13,000 viewers for, you know, what, 100 hours or probably 50 hours doing that 9/11 research stream if it wasn't because there was a debate with Nick and Sneeko waiting on the other end. Even though that didn't happen, like I think that was the there was a driving force behind it. Do you realistically see yourself ever debating people like Shapiro or Peterson? Shapiro and Peterson would be fun, but they're ideologues. They'd be fun to debate for like the fame, but it wouldn't be very fruitful. It wouldn't be very intellectually engaging because both of them are 100% audience captured. Shapiro is never meaningfully changing his opinion on anything. Neither is Peterson. So like the tier below that are more interesting for me to engage with because those people could meaningfully be moved or their audiences could, you know? Can you poach adversaries off TikTok? Maybe, but it's harder. I tried to with, I hung out with Farah a bit when I was in LA, and we were trying to reach out to people to do debates with, but like, everybody disappeared. I almost debated that Victoria girl, but then she disappeared. There was another guy on TikTok, and then he disappeared. There were like 2 or 3 others. And even on her account, like trying to reach out to people, they just like would disappear. So yeah, I don't know. It seems like the TikTok people are a little bit more sketchy, although, she was saying that it's not as common that people on TikTok are like big into like debates and stuff. So maybe that just doesn't happen as much. Twitter Spaces sounds interesting, but like, I don't know if I want to like, I don't want to just be screaming at randoms or having people screaming at randoms. I don't know. Do you want to fight with people? The alt hype was near a conversation with the other. I don't really. Sean Last, the race realist guys are so boring. They're nobodies. They've been like screaming about the same like single issue for their entire lives. Their audiences are like the most hardcore radicalized people. I don't want to do like the niche, like today we're going to go over the 57th interpretation of like what really happened in the gas chambers or the 7 millionth study, you know, showing that black people are actually inferior. This is boring. Do you feel like there should be a seasonal change in the politics content, having it coincide more with elections anyway, reduce it on the off years? Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Like that's happening naturally a little bit too, to where like there's just not much going on right now politically. But as the election starts to pick up more and we come into the presidential election season, we're probably going to start to see that content pick up again. I mean, it's never been the case in the history of the stream that like we've ran out of people to talk to. I'm sure it'll happen again, but like, yeah, right now there's just, I feel a little bit like Batman, to where people are always like, oh, like why is Batman so good? Well, Batman is like defined by his villains, and I think to some extent the stream works a little bit like that, to where the stream content is the best when we have really good adversaries that we kind of like gear our research and our news and our conversations towards. I feel like that's like what drives a lot of, at least for me in my brain, that drives a lot of my interest. Don't your best adversaries come from your audience? No. It's usually other content creators, I think. What about Wik panels? Wik panels are okay. I'm not as big a fan of like panels. Panels are okay, but I might have a conversation with Cosmic Skeptic, and if I do that, I might fly back to London and see if Pearl wants to do another show. But I just have to think if I want to fly back to London for 2 days or not. Maybe. Ever considered absolutely burying a content creator? Haven't we already done that a few times? Matt Brunig wants to debate you. Yeah, but it's not over his like ideal model of socialism. Like, fam, me. Like, yeah, I don't know. I can't get out of bed for that.